Hello and welcome. Our guest for this edition of ASTA is Dan Trujillo, Public Information Officer for the Las Cruces Police and Fire Departments. Dan, thank you for joining us on ASTA.
Thank you, Udell.
Now, what are the rules regarding yard sale signs?
Well, for signs, pretty much you cannot have them on any public place. So that means you can't have them on telephone poles, light poles, street signs, on the sidewalks. You can't have them anywhere like that. And there are many reasons why you shouldn't do that. And I think we have some photos to show examples of why you shouldn't do that.
Okay. And what are the penalties for violating the yard sale sign?
Yeah, you know, for penalties violating this, you could be fined up to $500, or you could receive a 90 days incarceration sentence. It really depends on the judge and your court case.
Okay. And how often can yard sales be held in Las Cruces?
Yeah, according to city ordinance, you cannot have a sale for more than 4 days in a row, and you cannot have sales more than 3 times in any calendar year.
Okay. Now, there was a case about a woman who claims that she was assaulted by 2 men who had attended a yard sale she was holding. What kind of advice do you have for people who hold yard sales to make sure that they're safe, and people who go to the yard sales are safe?
Yeah, and the case you're talking about, it was in the county, just outside of city limits. But here's the thing. If you're going to have a yard sale, be smart about it. Have it with a partner, with a friend or a family member. Don't do it by yourself. And not only because of something like this that could happen, but also just watching people. It gets very overwhelming when you're by yourself. Also, some of the other things you should do is make sure to not to flash money out. Don't get a huge wad of money out every time somebody pays you or every time somebody needs change. Try to avoid doing that. And also, one of the things, and I like going to yard sales, one of the things that I see a lot is somebody gets a cell phone out and puts it on a table amongst all the other stuff they're selling. It's their cell phone. They're not trying to sell it, but they just put it down. Those things can, if you will, grow legs. And somebody could take it, and it's easy to swipe a cell phone. So we strongly discourage people from leaving any valuables out. Again, watching what type of money they flash in front of strangers. And then, of course, don't do it by yourself.
Okay. So there are no restrictions in terms of the day of the week a yard sale can
Exactly.
be held,
You can have it pretty much any day of the week. Obviously, around here, most sales are Saturdays, some of them on Fridays, some even on Sundays. But you can have them any day of the week.
Okay, now going back to the signs just for a moment, it was about where they could be placed, but there's also an issue with them being left too long, right? People will go out and, especially a sign on a cardboard box, and they put it on the ground, and 2 weeks later it's still there.
Yeah, you know, and what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put signs if you're going to have a yard sale or a garage sale or tag sale, whatever you want to call it. You're supposed to put those signs in a private property. So in other words, a neighbor's property, your property. And of course, if you're putting it in a neighbor's property, make sure to get permission first before you do that. But then you're right. A lot of times people leave them up over time. We have wind here in southern New Mexico. Those signs blow everywhere. They look terrible when they're pasted on rock walls or wherever they're at. And so, you know, we're trying to keep our city looking good. And so we need all the help we can, especially when it comes to stuff like this.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add regarding yard sales in Las Cruces?
Yeah, you know, I think the biggest thing is be safe and make sure to follow these simple rules. They're not meant to curb having yard sales. They're just trying to keep people safe and, of course, making sure that yard sales don't become a clutter, especially to other neighbors.
Okay. Good advice.
Thank you.
Dan Trujillo, Public Information Officer with the Las Cruces Police and Fire Departments. Thank you for joining us on
Thank you very
ASTA.
much.